Keir Starmer is no stranger to making a fool of himself, and over the 100 days. Plus, he has made some crazy decisions that have made him look the fool. Well, one of his decisions that he made a couple weeks back has completely backfires, and in turn has humiliated himself in front of the entire world. In today's video, we will discuss the details, whilst also going over all of the latest news from up and down the country. But first, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel and join our fast-growing community. Keir Starmer looks like a total fool, as inmates have celebrated Labour and the Prime Minister after they were released from prison early, with one shouting, "Big up Keir Starmer." Some 1,110 prisoners are being released early today as part of the government's policy to free up prison space. Those serving over 5 years can now be released on licence after 40% of their time behind bars. It had previously been 50%. One inmate, Daniel Dowling Brooks, cheered, "Big up Keir Starmer," as he celebrated his release with his friends, mother and sister, who picked him up in a convoy of a white Bentley and black Mercedes G-Wagon outside HMP Swaleside in Kent. He told reporters he had been in prison for 7 years for kidnap and grievous bodily harm of someone who owed money to his friend and was leaving jail 7 weeks earlier than planned. The 29-year-old said the first thing he would do is go to McDonald's, go to my hostel, and follow all the rules. On being released, he said, "I kidnapped someone who owed my friend money. I tied him up and had him at gunpoint. I beat him up. It was bad, but not as bad as they made out. I'm so sorry for it, though. I'm changed. Big up Keir Starmer. I am delighted to be released early." Asked how he felt about being out of prison, he added, "I feel good, man. I feel happy." Other inmates were reunited with children, whilst some were greeted by friends. By lunchtime on Tuesday, 14 prisoners had been released from the prison, known locally as Strangeways, with several confirming they had been let go early. Starmer said that he shares the public's anger at images of prisoners being released prematurely. His official spokesman said, "The Prime Minister shares the public's anger at these scenes and thinks it is shocking that any government should ever inherit the crisis that this government has when it comes to our prisons. But just to be clear, there was no choice not to act. If we had not acted, we would have faced a complete paralysis of the system." The second set of emergency releases since September comes as ministers launch a comprehensive overhaul of sentences in light of overcrowding in prisons. The review could lead to judges having powers to sentence people to prison outside prison, such as house arrest. The scheme will free up 5,500 spaces across England and Wales, and many of those leaving jail today will come from open prisons, which means that inmates have been working towards rehabilitation. This follows on from Peter Lynch being confirmed as dead from committing suicide. Lynch was a peaceful protester who was locked up for 2.5 years back in August. These scumbags that have been released early was there so people like Peter Lynch could be jailed. What are your thoughts on all of this? Let me know in the comments. In other news, Labour's first budget will be unveiled 1 week from now, and British motorists are still none the wiser about what to expect. Will prices rise? Could costs finally fall? Will nothing at all change? Many experts have remarked that Chancellor Rachel Reeves could roll out several changes that hammer motorists in a bid to fill a gaping black hole in public finances left by the previous Conservative government, worth at least £22 billion. While nothing has been confirmed, it is assumed that a few things could be in the firing line. Measures impacting fuel duty, car tax, insurance and potholes could all be inside the budget red box. Petrol and diesel drivers will be dismayed that fuel duty is the most likely motoring issue to be in the firing line. Data from the Campaign for Better Transport states that the Treasury has spent £133 billion on freezing fuel duty since 2011. Rishi Sunak, as Chancellor, was the first person to cut the rate of fuel duty in March 2022, following the devastating invasion of Ukraine by Russian forces the month prior. The 5 pence per litre cut was extended twice, with the measure expiring next March. Rachel Reeves has several options regarding fuel duty. She could leave the issue until March, when it will naturally expire. Another option is to remove the freeze and reimpose the original 57.95 rate. The choice that could annoy and impact the most drivers in one fell swoop is to scrap the freeze and hike rates. Rumours have been swirling about a 7p hike, while others have predicted an inflation-based rise. In previous years, experts even predicted a jump of 23p, which failed to materialise. This would understandably make drivers furious. However, the last 2 years of lower fuel duty rates have not had the desired effect. Major retailers and supermarkets failed to pass on savings to motorists to the tune of £900 million in 2022 alone. A fuel duty cut would see prices rise at forecourts after falling all year. However, analysts predict that it wouldn't hit drivers as hard since the savings were never truly passed on to Britons. An HM Treasury spokesperson told the media, "Following the spending audit, the Chancellor has been clear that difficult decisions lie ahead on spending, welfare and tax to fix the foundations of our economy and address the £22 billion hole in the public finances left by the last government. Decisions on how to do that will be taken at the budget in the round." Road pricing is another fear for motorists. Experts have warned for years that electric cars will cause a headache for the government thanks to fewer people paying for petrol and diesel, lowering fuel duty receipts. With this in mind, road pricing measures, like a pay-per-mile scheme, could be used to ensure motorists pay taxes without an imbalance based on what car someone drives. Vehicle excise duty will extend to electric cars next April, although this has been considered by some as a stopgap before larger changes are made to the system of taxation. Multiple options from across the sector have considered what a PPM system could look like. Some have suggested a flat fee of 2p per mile, while others have stated that 15p per mile could work. The Treasury previously told GB News that it would not be introducing a road pricing system in the budget, despite officials previously warning that it should be a priority under the Tory administration. Labour's lofty pledges, which helped them win over the electorate, also promised a review into why car insurance prices are so expensive, a return to the 2030 deadline to ban new petrol and diesel car sales, as well as support for the scourge of potholes. Transport Secretary Louise Hay launched a review last week calling for a crackdown on expensive insurance prices, with multiple organisations now investigating. The Potholes Fund remains at £8.3 billion, despite some estimating that it could cost as much as £16 billion to fill in all road defects. Further calls remain to help drivers with repair costs from potholes. Next week's tax hikes may not be the last. As Rachel Reeves warns Britons of tough decisions at the end of October, March could put even more pressure on motorists. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you've not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you. Take care. Goodbye.